deep gratitude and trust practice with God. Sit comfortably. Inhale. Exhale. Give yourself permission to pause, to be here, in stillness, in presence. Gratitude is not just words. It's a state of being. It's the language of the soul that remembers, I am not alone. There is something greater than me in this world. There is God. There is the wisdom that created this day, this sunrise, this breath, this heart. Today, I choose to become aware of all that I already have, not just with my mind, but with my being. To feel it in my skin, my breath, my every cell. And so I ask myself, round pushpin, what can I be grateful for right now? Close your eyes and simply give thanks for the body that gets tired but carries you anyway, for the heart that has lived through more than you ever imagined, for the experiences that made you deeper, for the soul that never gave up. Give thanks for the people who entered your life. Even those who brought pain, they became lessons. Give thanks for the ones who stayed, who see the real you, who pray for you even when you don't know it. Give thanks for the moments of light, for mornings when the sky felt especially still, for the look that reminded you of God, for the words that arrived at just the right time, for the strength that appeared right when you thought you had none left. This is God. This is love. This is blessing. And now simply say, thank you, God, for reminding me I am not alone. Thank you for your presence in all things. Thank you for the path you are guiding me through. Thank you for all that I can see and all that I don't yet understand. And if there's still pain in me, I thank you for that too, because it teaches. And if there are unanswered hopes, I thank you even then, because that too shapes my growth. And if there are tears, I thank you, because it means my heart is still alive. God, thank you for seeing all that I am walking through. You know my path even when I feel lost. Thank you for standing beside me in joy and in sorrow. Thank you for the care that gently wraps around my life. Today I turn to you, before seeking answers elsewhere. Only you are my source of peace and strength. Only you hold everything I truly need. So I come to you open and honest, ready to receive your help. God, fill me with your light. Help me see truth in the darkness. Cleanse my thoughts of fear. Lead me on a path of freedom, kindness, and wisdom. When I stray, be my compass. When I'm tired, be my peace. When I rejoice, receive my joy. Thank you for the strength that lives within me, for the wisdom that rises when I sit in silence. For every moment I feel your presence within all that is happening in my life. I ask, let your peace dwell in my heart. Enter every part of my being, my thoughts, my feelings, my choices, my actions. Be the center of my life. Teach me to trust, to give thanks, to believe, to love, and once more to give thanks. God, today I want to thank you, not selectively, but for everything, for every area of my life, even the ones that feel incomplete, because you already see the whole picture. I am still learning to trust. I thank you for my family, for those who are near, and even for those I've lost touch with, because each one taught me something sacred. I thank you for the love that has endured through time, for shared memories that still warm my heart, and even for the challenges, they grew my soul. I thank you for relationships, for those who saw me clearly, for the closeness that heals, for the hugs that spoke louder than words, for trust that stayed even when everything else was shaken. I thank you for my friends, for the real ones, honest, alive, for those who laughed and cried with me, who reached out at exactly the right moment, who whispered prayers over me without needing to be asked. I thank you for my purpose, for the gifts you placed within me, for the chance to serve this world. Even when the path feels unclear, I know you walk it with me. You open the right doors at the right time. You never let me forget why I was born. I thank you for finances, for every form of provision, for honest work, for unexpected support, for the abundance that flows when I choose trust. You are my source, God, not the economy, not systems, not people. I'm learning to receive with gratitude and give with joy. I thank you for home, for shelter, for peace, for walls that protect, for warmth, for safety, for a space to simply be, for a corner of the world where your light lives with me. I thank you for health, for a body that breathes, for every cell that restores and regenerates. Even in illness, I see your messages, and I give thanks. You heal more than just the physical. You heal deeply from within, and I receive that healing with an open heart. I thank you for the people along my path, for mentors, teachers, guides, for supporters and encouragers, and even for the challengers. Through them, you shaped my resilience and faith. I thank you for peace, for the stillness that says more than words, for the moments when I feel you not with my mind, but with my being, when the whole world pauses and I know you are near. I am not alone, and that is enough. I thank you for my dreams, for the desires you placed within me, for visions yet to come to life, but already held in your perfect timing. I thank you for all that is, and for all that is still becoming. Teach me to see your presence in everything. Teach me to give thanks not only for what's easy, but also for what shapes me into who I truly am. My soul says, thank you, God. With all that I am, I give thanks. I rest in your hands, and that is my deepest peace. God, today I thank you for my health. Even if it's not perfect, it's mine. This body carries me through each day. It holds me, moves me, protects me. I'm grateful for every breath, every heartbeat, for eyes that see the light, for hands that can hold, for legs that carry me forward even when it's hard. I thank you for the healing that has already begun. Even if I can't fully see it yet, you heal not only my body, but also my soul, my thoughts, my heart. And I receive this care with trust. I thank you for the help, the kind that came right on time. Sometimes through people, sometimes in moments that felt like chance. But I know it wasn't chance. It was you, God, always close. I thank you for the support, for the shoulders I could lean on, for the words that held me together when the world felt too loud, for those who believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. I thank you for shelter, for a place to breathe, to rest, to feel safe. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's mine. And I know everything I have is already a blessing. I thank you for the food, for the bread on my table, for the taste, the smell, the nourishment. Even when I didn't notice, you were the source of it all. You feed not only my body, but also my heart, my spirit, my purpose. I thank you, God, for the simple things, the things that are, in truth, the greatest gifts. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I have this new day, and that alone is enough to say, thank you, God. Today I thank you for the sun, for every sunrise, for the soft warmth on my face, for the light that breaks through darkness and reminds me life goes on. I thank you for nature, for the trees that offer shade and peace, for rivers that flow just like my life, for the earth that grounds me, for the sky that reminds me of the infinite, for everything alive, created with love. I thank you for the air I breathe, silent, effortless. Each inhale, a gift of life. Each exhale, a release. I'm even grateful for what I cannot see, but that sustains me every second. I thank you for laughter, for those moments of joy, when my heart feels light and free, and for tears, because in them lives truth, healing, depth. It means I'm alive. I feel. I'm real. I thank you for your protection. Even when I don't know what you're shielding me from, I can feel that I'm not alone. There is a power holding me, even in the middle of every storm. And I thank you for safety, for this moment, here and now, for peace, for stillness, for your presence. Thank you for the calm you place in my heart when I remember you are always near. God, I thank you for rest, for the sacred pauses in my day, for the silence that renews me, for the nights when sleep gently carries me. into a place of peace and restoration. Thank you for the moments when I let go and simply be. I thank you for the gift of life, this breath, this heart, this journey that is uniquely mine. Every experience, every encounter, woven with meaning. Even when I don't understand, I trust that it's all part of something greater. Thank you for the strength of those who came before me, for the love and resilience of my ancestors, for the invisible thread of courage and wisdom that runs through my blood. I carry their hope, I walk their prayers, and I honor them by living with presence. Thank you for the unseen help around me, for my guardian angels, those quiet protectors always near. I may not hear them, but I feel their guidance, their comfort in the unknown, their gentle nudge toward what is right and good. I thank you for all the ways I am supported, both in the physical and the spiritual, for I am never alone. You walk with me and surround me with light, seen and unseen. Thank you, God, for my soul, for the part of me that seeks truth, beauty, and meaning. Thank you for the lessons my soul has gathered, even through pain. Thank you for the gift of awareness, for knowing that I can choose light again and again. Thank you for the experiences that shaped me, for the tears that softened my heart, and the laughter that lifted my spirit. Thank you for the inner compass that whispers when I stray, for the strength to rise again when I fall, for the quiet courage to begin anew. Thank you for my intuition, my sense of knowing beyond logic, a compass that keeps me aligned with what is true and whole. Thank you for forgiveness, for being forgiven, and for forgiving others, for the grace of letting go and beginning again. Thank you, God, for the people you have brought into my life, for those who stayed and walked beside me, for those who taught me through joy and for those who taught me through pain. Thank you for love in all its forms, for the deep connections that transcend words, for the hands that held mine, for the eyes that saw me, for the hearts that recognized my own. Thank you for the presence of friends who showed up when I needed them most, for family bonds that go deeper than conflict, for the kindness of strangers, for prayers whispered for me by others even when I never knew. Thank you for the grace of reconciliation, for the healing of words unspoken, for peace in relationships where once there was tension, for the lessons that taught me to love better. Thank you, God, for the sacred signs that remind me I am never alone, for synchronicities that feel like divine winks, for unexpected answers, perfect timing, and closed doors that were secretly protecting me. Thank you for the mystery, for the things I cannot explain but feel deeply, for the warmth in my chest when I feel you near, for the quiet nudge that leads me to trust even when I don't know why. Thank you for the moments of deep peace in silence, for the stillness that reveals your presence, for the connection that happens without words, for being my source, my shelter, my eternal companion. Thank you for being the light in my confusion, the calm in my storms, and the strength in my weakness. Thank you, God, for the sun on my skin, the wind in my hair, the scent of flowers in bloom, for the music of birds in the morning, for the ocean's vastness, the mountain's stillness, the forest's secrets. Thank you for the moments when the sky turns gold, for the feeling of fresh air in my lungs, for the miracle of rain, for the stars that remind me how small and yet how loved I am. Thank you for laughter that shakes my body, for tears that cleanse my heart, for smiles exchanged in silence, for beauty in the simple, the ordinary, the unnoticed. Thank you for every ending that became a new beginning, for every delay that turned into protection, for every no that led to a greater yes, for every fall that taught me how to rise. Thank you for the process, even when slow, even when hard, for the unfolding, for the becoming, for who I am today and who I am still becoming. Thank you for reminding me that life is not a race, but a sacred walk, a pilgrimage, a dance between surrender and action, between effort and grace. I trust you. I thank you. And I open my heart to more of what you have prepared for me. Thank you, God, for the roof over my head, for the shelter that keeps me safe through every season, for the warmth of a home that holds my stories, my laughter, my rest. Thank you for food on the table, not just the meals, but the hands that grew, prepared, and provided it. For nourishment that sustains my body and brings people together. Thank you for the gift of financial provision, for the resources that meet my needs and give me the freedom to share. For every unexpected blessing, for work, income, ideas, and opportunities. Thank you for money that flows with purpose and alignment, for the wisdom to use it with integrity and the joy of seeing it do good. Thank you for clothes to wear, water to drink, and the small comforts I often overlook, for the abundance that surrounds me when I pause and truly see. Thank you for every tool, every support, every system that helps me navigate this life. For access, for education, for freedom to learn and grow. Thank you for the physical things that serve my soul's journey. Let me never forget, even in material things, your hand is present. Thank you, God, for the freedom to choose how I live, for the ability to speak my truth, for the right to say no when I need to protect my peace, for the gift of knowing who I am becoming. Thank you for the courage to stand in my truth, even when it is misunderstood, for the joy of discovering my authentic voice. For every moment I chose alignment over approval. Thank you for the liberty to live with purpose, to think independently, and to follow the rhythms of my own soul. Thank you, God, for imagination, that infinite space where dreams are born, for ideas that ignite something deep within me, for creativity that flows like water when I give it room. Thank you for the freedom to express beauty in my own way, for the words, the colors, the movements, the moments that become art. Thank you for inspiration that appears unexpectedly, for the joy of creating even when no one sees it, for the sacred act of bringing something new into the world. Thank you, God, for the depth of my inner world, for emotions that teach me about myself, for thoughts that I can observe rather than obey, for awareness that opens space for compassion. Thank you for the mirror of my inner life, where I learn to forgive, to heal, to accept, and to grow. Thank you for every moment of clarity, for the ability to pause, reflect, and choose differently. Thank you, God, for seasons of beginning and ending, for the comfort of knowing nothing stays forever, for the gift of cycles that bring renewal, time and again. Thank you for the strength to release when the time comes, for the trust to welcome what's next, for the grace to flow with life's rhythm. Thank you for the hidden blessings in transitions, for the gifts found in letting go, for the truth that even in endings, you are near. Thank you, God, for all forms of provision in my life, for the money that supports my needs and allows me to be generous, for the flow of resources that finds its way to me with grace. Thank you for the roof over my head, the food on my table, and the comforts I often take for granted, for unexpected blessings that remind me how deeply I am cared for. Thank you for the energy of abundance that surrounds me, for the shift in mindset that sees enough rather than lack, for the opportunities that continue to open. Thank you for showing me that prosperity begins with gratitude. Thank you, God, for the peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, for the calm I can return to within, for the safety I feel when I trust in something greater than myself. Thank you for protecting me from harm, seen and unseen, for the nights I slept in safety, for the days I moved with confidence, for the shield of grace around my life. Thank you for the people, places, and choices that bring me peace, for the moments I remember I am held. Thank you for being my shelter in the storm, my quiet place to rest, and the eternal source of calm in my soul. Take a slow breath in and gently breathe out. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing awareness back to your body. Roll your shoulders, soften your jaw, and let your breath guide you into a gentle state of presence. As you prepare to return to your day, carry this sense of gratitude with you. Let it echo through your words, your actions, and the energy you bring into each moment. Remember, gratitude is a practice. The more you return to it, the more it grows. The more you embody it, the more life reflects it back to you. You can return to this prayer anytime you feel lost, overwhelmed, or disconnected. Let it become your sacred rhythm. For greatest impact, revisit this prayer daily or weekly. Allow it to realign you with peace, with grace, with trust in a greater plan. Gratitude doesn't just change how we feel. It transforms how we live.